What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here, and today we're going to be showcasing the best vendor weapons available for sale this week, which is April 25th to May 2nd. Now that's because with the introduction of the Age of Triumph, vendors now have rotating perks on their weapons. So every week we're going to go in and shout out the best combinations that you should consider picking up. Now let's get started here right away with the universal vendors. Beginning with the Crucible Quartermasters. Actually quite a few decent weapons available for sale. And actually I just want to say that we're not just shouting out the God rolls, we're shouting out the good rolls, the rolls that you should definitely take a look at. There's a lot of new players that are interested in getting a decent pulse rifle or a decent auto rifle, and asking them to wait months and months for a God roll to potentially appear is a bit ridiculous. So let's get started here with actually a auto rifle, the 0-Day Dilemma. This weapon has a few very good perks. Firstly, Quickdraw IS is going to allow it to aim down sights faster than normal. Overall, a decent sight. Then we have Spray and Pray, increasing the reload if the magazine is empty. This actually works hand in hand with the next perk, Braced Frame. This is going to drastically increase the stability, making this weapon a lot easier to use, but it will lower the magazine. But because of Spray and Pray, that downside is not going to be as harsh as it otherwise would. And last, we have Persistence. This gun gains bonus accuracy when it fires for longer. So with auto rifles, Persistence can be decent. It is certainly not a top tier perk. However, Quickdraw IS, Spray and Play, and Brace Frame with Persistence, overall decent roll, definitely worth taking a look at. After that, we have the B29 Party Favor. This firstly has a great sight, in fact the best sight you're looking for, with Steady Hand IS, increasing that stability, making the recoil a little bit less. After that, Life Support is overall a decent perk, definitely better than Eye of the Storm in my opinion. And then we have Braced Frame. Yes, that will lower the magazine, but it will, especially in combination with Steady Hand IS, as you can see, basically max out the stability. Like, you're going to get 100% stability with this Party Favor. And lastly, Headseeker. Excellent perk on pulse rifles. I love this perk. It makes your time to kill so much more consistent, because if you can't get all headshots, which will grant you your optimum time to kill, you can get like body, head, and still reach that optimal time to kill. Really gonna help you in a lot of gunfights. Now, right after that, we have another quite good roll on the Hero Formula. This is a pretty unique scout rifle, belongs to the highest rate of fire archetype, not many in that archetype. We have a few decent sights, Life Support being an okay perk, that's backed up with, importantly, Braced Frame. With this archetype of scout rifle, it's the fastest firing one again. You need stability. Like, you need to land multiple shots in a row. That's why this archetype exists. So without a good bonus to stability, you're not going to be able to use this weapon sufficiently. And that is all backed up with reactive reload. Reloading this weapon grants you a damage bonus for a short time. That actually kind of works in tandem with Brace Frame. Brace Frame is going to lower your magazine. You're going to be reloading more often, but you're going to be doing more damage because of it, which is definitely not a huge downside. After that, we have a very solid roll on the infamous Palindrome Hand Cannon. We have some decent sights. We have probably Spray and Play is going to be the best perk here. And then we have Reinforced Barrel. That's going to drastically increase the range, which is exactly what you want. However, Rifled Barrel, which is going to, instead of decreasing the stability like Reinforce, it's going to decrease the reload. That's better. That is just better than Reinforced. However, if you need a good hand cannon, this will definitely suffice, because we're rounding things off with, again, reactive reload, which is definitely going to be a good perk for this hand cannon. So consider picking up this Palindrome if you don't have any good PvP hand cannons. This will serve you fine. Again, it can be better, especially with Rifled Barrel, but this should be fine. After that, we have a pretty solid 44 Curtain Call. This Curtain Call has been on a huge roll. Like, it's been good almost every week. Firstly, we've got Battle Runner and Cascade. Both are actually decent with shotguns, especially Battle Runner. Getting a kill and getting a boost to speed, that's not even that bad when you're shotgunning. After that, Rifled Barrel. This is by far the best perk you are looking for shotguns, and this shotgun has it. increases the range, lowers the reload. Who cares about that? We got an increase to range and a pretty good one at that. And lastly, full auto. Full auto is going to generally increase the rate of fire overall because it's going to fire just by you holding down the trigger. You don't have to worry about pressing it. This is going to make this gun a lot better in PvE. Like if you want a PvE shotgun, full auto is the best perk you're looking for on those. And in PvP, full auto apparently tightens the spread for whatever reason. So there you have it. A pretty solid 44 curtain call. After that, we have another very solid weapon, the Event Horizon Sniper Rifle. Firstly, we have an excellent sight with the Short Gaze SLH-10. It's one of the lowest zoom sights you can get, and it's going to add some extra aim assist, which is quite good. After that, Mulligan is actually pretty good in this current special ammo economy in PvP. Missing a shot can refund it, which is, considering ammo is so valuable, like that's actually good now. Army of One is okay, but importantly, we have Casket Mag, making the magazine go from 3 to 4, which is very, very good. You want that in PvP, honestly, just more rounds in the magazine, and it's very good in PvE. That's going to really help you get damage on a boss more efficiently. So, Casket Mag, quite good. And lastly, Unflinching, making it so that if you are in a gunfight with the sniper, you're going to be flinching less from oncoming fire, which is going to let you land your shots. Just overall one of the best perks you can get on a sniper rifle. So very good Event Horizon this week. Moving on to the Vanguard vendor. It's going to be a little bit different because frankly there is one gun worth looking at this week in my opinion. It is the Parthian Shot. Firstly, we have a good sight, Quickdraw IS. Aim down sights faster, overall decent. Next, we have two terrible perks. We have Take a Knee and Eye of the Storm. Again, none of them are quite good, but we then have Small Bore. It decreases the magazine, but your magazine is actually pretty high with this weapon, so that's fine. It's going to increase the stability by a much needed amount, and it's going to increase the range as well. But importantly, we have Headseeker. Headseeker, in my opinion, is the best perk, period, on the Parthian Shot, and the reason being is because the Parthian Shot is capable of killing in 2 bursts, which makes its time to kill very good. However, if you get a single body shot, you're not going to be able to do that. So Headseeker is going to make it way more consistent, just frighteningly more consistent, allowing you to actually get those 2 burst kills even if you do get some body shots mixed in sometimes. So again, Headseeker I think is the best perk for this gun. That combined with Small Bore and Quickdraw IS overall makes for a decent package. Now moving on to the faction vendors, we're starting with Dead Orbit, and there's actually quite a few good guns available for sale. Firstly, the Extrema File 11 Auto Rifle. We have the Sure Shot IS. Best sight you're looking for, going to increase that stability by a little bit, just an amazing sight. After that, Snapshot is decent, and Armor Piercing Rounds is actually decent as well. So we have 2 like okay perks after that. But then we have Perfect Balance. Very good perk with this auto rifle, going to increase the stability, going to make it a lot more usable, and that is combined lastly with Persistence. Gain bonus accuracy when firing this weapon consistently, which again is going to be okay. So best sight you can possibly get, plus, you know, Snapshot, Perfect Balance, and Persistence, overall decent roll. Like if you're in really need of an auto rifle, this Extrema File is probably like the best one available for sale this week. Although there's definitely been better rolls. Now moving on from there, we have an actually amazing PvE Scout Rifle with the Keystone 01. Firstly, explosive rounds. Just by far the best perk you are looking for on this type of scout rifle, and that's because it belongs to the highest damage archetype, so you're going to be able to spread around that very high damage to multiple enemies at the same time, damaging them and importantly flinching them. One shot can make, 3 or 4 enemies at the same time stop shooting you, which is incredibly useful. This weapon also comes with Perfect Balance, making it so much more user-friendly and able to land more consistent shots in a row. However, if you don't want that and you're comfortable with the recoil, you can also use Outlaw, which is going to drastically increase the reload if you get a headshot kill, which is also going to be very good for keeping up your continuous damage on a bunch of adds. And lastly, crowd control. And this is going to trigger so easily. Like, you're going to be able to one-shot. You're going to be able to one-shot Shanks, for example, in the Wrath of the Machine with this weapon with explosive rounds. So you're going to get crowd control just so easy. You're going to be pumping out a lot of damage with this Keystone. If you want a good PvE scout rifle, this Keystone, seriously, buy it. Moving on from there, we have a perfectly acceptable Lastditch 001. Just to go over it quickly, we have, firstly, it comes with good ballistics off the start, extended magazine, going to go from 5 to 6, small bore, going to make it go back down from 6 to 5, and then rangefinder. Now, small bore, that increases the range, and rangefinder, that increases the range. Those are two very good perks, like very, very good perks, and you have both of them on the same weapon. So no, I don't think it's going to be able to reach the range maximum with these perks, but it's going to actually be relatively close. If you need a good shotgun, the Lastditch is definitely a consideration. However, the 44 curtain call we went over earlier is probably just better. Now moving on from there, we have a very good roll on the Bitter Edge 010. Has one of the highest aim assists of any sniper in Destiny. We have a good sight with the ambush. Then we have Quick Draw, letting you draw this weapon faster. Excellent with sniper rifles. After that, Clown Cartridge. Reloading is going to make the magazine potentially go up to 6, which can be very, very good in PvE and PvP. And lastly, Firefly, which is just going to spread around your damage. You can get double kills in PvP. You can, just damage more enemies in PvP, in PvE. Overall, good perk, and you definitely don't need something like Hidden Hand here. This weapon has more than enough aim assist. Now, moving on to the next faction vendor with Future War Cult. Firstly, we have an actually pretty damn good PvE hand cannon roll on the Whale. Firstly, and most importantly, it has explosive rounds. This is the best perk, period, you're looking for on these PvE hand cannons. It's going to spread around your damage, and with this archetype, that's exactly what you want. After that, perfect bounce, just going to make this weapon easier to use, easier to land consistent headshots. And lastly, we have reactive reload. Going to increase the damage after you reload, which is going to be very, very easy to activate. So overall, just good PvE roll. Like, if you don't have a Fatebringer and you want something that's, not necessarily comparable, but good, you may want to pick up this Whale. Moving on from there, we have a pretty solid Waltz available this week. Firstly, Steady Hand IS. Best sight you're looking for, period. After that, Quick Draw is decent, but actually Flared Magwell, just outright increasing the reload speed, is actually probably going to be pretty good. After that, Perfect Bounce, which is the perfect perk you're looking for on this weapon. And lastly, Rodeo, which is going to decrease the vertical recoil in favor of a little bit of side-to-side recoil. Not really increasing the side-to-side recoil, but just not changing it. So just generally, overall, decent roll. Definitely not the God Roll, but solid. Moving on from there, we have a pretty darn good The Waiting Fusion Rifle. We have Quick Draw, which is really good on fusion rifles, letting you draw that out, charge it right away, and get that shot off. So Quick Draw, excellent. Accelerated Coils, some people really like this perk, letting you charge your weapon faster at the cost of a little bit of impact. And then we have two excellent perks. Hammer Forged, increasing the range and accuracy. Exactly what you want on the Waiting Fusion Rifle. And then ending us off, Rangefinder, increasing the range. Exactly what you want on a fusion rifle. So we have some very, very good perks. This is, honestly very close to a God Roll. I'd say Small Bore over Hammer Forged maybe would be better, but it's pretty damn close. Now moving on from there, if for whatever reason you don't want the Keystone or you're not leveled up in Dead Orbit, the Wounded is doing a decent impression of that. It also has explosive rounds and actually a full auto, which is another very good perk. The Hammer Forged and Unflinching, honestly, neither of them really come up too much in PvE, but it does have crowd control. So this weapon, just with explosive rounds, let's say Unflinching because why not, and then crowd control, that's going to be pretty decent in PvE. Crowd control is going to combine with explosive rounds to let this archetype of scout rifle kill stuff like Shanks in one shot in Wrath of the Machine. Normally it takes 2 shots, but if you're getting the crowd control bonus, it will one shot them. So that's actually a pretty good combination. And moving on, our last faction vendor for this week is New Monarchy. Firstly, we have probably the best, well, the only actually decent sidearm being sold this week, and that is the Impeacher 5 sidearm. We have some decent sights. Quick draw is actually very good on a sidearm, being able to switch to it so fast and start shooting right away. And then we have hand loaded. Excellent on sidearms, just increasing the range, exactly what you want. And then lastly, rangefinder. Increasing the range, exactly what you want. So hammer forged, rangefinder, quick draw, those are 3 good perks, all on the same sidearm. You can use them all at the same time. So definitely, if you need a sidearm, this Impeacher is the best one this week. And lastly, ending us off, the Deposition sniper rifle. This has actually a very solid roll. Short gaze, excellent sight. Moving on from there, quick draw, great with snipers. After that, triple tap. Very good perk, gonna let you get 3 rapid precision hits and get another round out of the magazine. So if you're in PvE, that's gonna make this weapon do a lot more damage against bosses. And if you're in PvP and you can pull this off, 1 extra round is 1 extra kill, so that's nothing to scoff at either. And lastly, unflinching. Again, great sniper rifle perk. This weapon really has it all. And so guys, that is going to be it for the best vendor weapons available this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you want to see more Destiny content similar to this and don't want to miss out on next week's episode of Best Vendor Rolls, be sure to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.